Texting. We are back. Welcome back to the Mid-Sec on a Man Up Monday. The I Question One argument that you're flying solo again tonight. The redoubtable one is still out sick. Hopefully he will return later on this week if he feels up to it. He's got a bit of the sniffles. But sitting in for the, or running solo again, highly questionable argument that you. Welcome back to IDD. For those of you know, I don't disagree. Segment 1, all things NBA All-Star Weekend. A lot of people were off today for the holiday, so I'm sure you've probably heard or seen the buffet of criticism coming out of whatever that exhibition was last night, which destroyed what was shaping up to be a promising weekend. The Celebrity Game Friday was pretty funny. Shannon Sharp got the better of Stephen A. Smith. No surprise there. Smith's a fraud. He's just a fraud. He may know the game, but knowing the game and being able to actually do something constructively or coach it is another story. His celebrity status couldn't save him. At the end of the day, Shannon Sharp's a real athlete at the highest level. And he had Micah Parsons, who was like a bull in a china shop. Stephen A. Smith wasn't wrong about that, but do you actually think the refs care about a celebrity game? Like they're going to call something, Stephen A.? You of all people should know better. But anyway, there was that. Then there was the three-point competition where Damian Lillard got his second straight three-point shooting winner. That was Adani in the Brook. Those guys put their best foot forward. He won with a 26 in the final round. The dunk contest wasn't as exciting, but I give Jaylen Brown credit because finally an all-star showed up and at least put through their hat into the ring. So we did that. Jaylen's more of a power dunker, not a creative dunker, but I give him a tip of the cap for at least trying and paying homage to some previous Celtics like D. Brown, trying to do his best there. And the Michael Jackson glove on the left was kind of funny, but at least he tried. A lot of these all-stars don't have the guts to compete because they're afraid of what it might do to their brand. Jaylen Brown went out there and went after it. So kudos to him. Matt McClung, the G Leaguer, repeated. And Stephen A. Smith is somehow appalled that a G Leaguer has won back-to-back dunk contests. The G League is part of the NBA, so at least he's at that level. But he won with a 50 jumping over, of all people, Shaquille O'Neal, to seal the deal. The best part of the weekend by far was the much-anticipated three-point shootout between Steph Curry and Sabrina Ionescu of the New York Liberty. That was everything I had hoped it would be. She stepped up to the plate and shooting from the NBA three, because women's three-point line is about a foot and a half closer. But she stepped up and gave Steph all he could handle. 29-26 was the final. Curry had to get hot on the last two racks to pull it out, which of course he did, because he's the best shooter of this generation and quite possibly ever. So he did what he had to do, but she has nothing to be ashamed of. And hopefully, for the average Joes or average fans out there, they'll start to appreciate the women's game, because if you look at her score, she would have been in the finals of the men's three-point competition had she participated. So she more than held her own. Kudos to her. Steph got away with a 29-26 and what was Adani. And look, the only question at that point was, look, this could be a great weekend, and this is the other thing. Jason Tatum, one of the Celtics All-Stars, finally met Larry Bird after 7 years, because it's in Indianapolis. Larry Bird won the Legend Award for the NBA Legends. He was the 2024 recipient of that. So he was there, went in the locker room, didn't meet him there, but when Tatum came out on the court, Bird was down there courtside, and they got to finally meet for the first time since Tatum got drafted. And Tatum spoke glowing about that. That was great to see. They got a picture together. That was awesome. So everything was shaping up to hey, and Larry Bird had one request this weekend, which the late, great Kobe Bryant once had. Look, you guys get more competitive in a pickup game at UCLA in the summer. At least give them something. No, you're not going to go out like it's the NBA Finals, because I understand people don't want to get hurt or risk getting hurt. But you know what? The guys back in the day didn't seem to give a damn about that. They played hard because it was competitive and the fans paid their hard-earned money. Well, that didn't happen. That fell on deaf ears. Larry Bird had one request that these guys all showed up and competed. That was a joke. And when I mean it was a joke, one team scored 211 points. 211 points, okay? That is utterly disgusting. I turned it off midway through the second quarter. I couldn't stomach it anymore. I was waiting for someone to step up and stop just bending over and letting everybody do whatever they wanted, because it wasn't a highlight reel. There was barely any applause. because the fans knew what was happening. The guy who runs the league knew what was happening. The head of the players department, Joe Dumas, knew what was happening. Everybody knew what was happening, and it was embarrassing, and these guys don't care. And look, Brian Windhorst, we call him Windy. He's one of the NBA analysts. He knows his shit, but he's saying that there's no incentive. You know, there was no incentive for Michael Jordan back in the day, or Kobe Bryant, or Larry, or Magic, or any of these guys, Barkley, or any of these other legends back in the day, the Kevin Garnett's and Tim Duncan's of the world. But they went out there, the Shaquille O'Neal's. They all put their best foot forward and tried to compete. I mean, that's a joke. That's a lame-ass excuse. And more money? How much more money do they goddamn need? Their salaries are higher than they have ever been. Okay? You can be an average guy in the NBA now and make $20 million a year. You can be average and make $20 million a year. Okay? That's utterly ridiculous. More money? More money for what? Okay? You guys can't even go out there in a competitive setting and go at each other and just again, they managed to do it before. Okay? They managed to do it before, and they all got out unscathed. I don't get it. If you were hurt, you didn't play. But if you were healthy, you're playing, you put your best foot forward, and you try to give the fans a good show, and literally not running out to guys or pulling up from half court, which we've seen a million times already. You know, Damian Lillard wins the MVP contest. For what? For wide open shots where nobody defended you? Like, it's just an absolute embarrassment. I mean, I didn't think these guys could embarrass themselves anymore. And they got their heads rammed so far up their ass, they don't even care and think that doesn't matter. Here's some incentive for you dickheads, you fucking donkeys that are supposed to be the best basketball players in the world. How about if the fans get tired of your act, they just simply turn the channel and stop coming to games, because that's your meal ticket, your audience, okay? And these billion-dollar contracts, TV contracts, they're not going to exist if people are turning the channel and the ratings go kaplooey, okay? So one time a year, I mean, they ask you to show up. Of course, they want you to have fun, but I mean, go out there and compete for 48 minutes. Would that kill you? For Christ's sake, that's absolutely disgusting. And Wendy's thing about, you know, putting money into it, again, how much effing money do you need? What, 50,000, 100,000? I mean, wasn't that in-season tournament thing, 500,000 to the winner? I mean, you got that. That's in the season. You're not playing any more games. They're just scheduling certain games a certain way. They're not adding games to the schedule. I mean, what the hell? How much more money do you goddamn need? Like, wow. There's no incentive. There wasn't an incentive 20 years ago either, but they played harder. There wasn't an incentive 30 years ago or 40 years ago. Talk about disrespect to the guys that paved the way for you. They don't even understand who they're really disrespecting. They're disrespecting the guys that came before them. The Kobe Bryants, okay, the Dr. J's, okay, the Tim Duncans, the Shaqs, the Birds, the Magics, the Dr. J's, the Jordans, all of them. All of them. The Barkleys, the Stocktons, the Malones, the Isaiah, all of them. Okay? That's who you're disrespecting. And the fact that you can't see that, that's your first problem. Well, there's no incentive. Fuck you. It's incentive. Give me a break. I say fuck you to that, okay? You want to pay them for this? That's a joke. That just tells you how stuck up and self-centered they are, okay? Just total disrespect for the guys that paid the way. The reason you're making all this money now is because guys that came before you gave it their all in that game. Or at least they played hard. And to Kobe Bryant's point, and this is Kobe's words, these guys play harder in a pickup game in the summer at UCLA. And he noticed that before he died. So it's been going that way for a while. It's gotten worse and worse and worse. 211 points. You got to be shitting me. Fucking awful. Just this whole thing. And LeBron, if you're the face of this generation, it starts with you, Mr. Network, because that's what the damn thing. The truth is, this weekend now is all a networking thing. They all got to get in the new generation networks. They're all about getting in that inner circle to protect and build their brands. If you compete, you're going to build your brand, okay? Because people remember that. They don't remember lackadaisical people that slough off once they get the big bag of money. That's not the reputation you want to get. But you're getting it, and it's getting worse by the day. So I don't know. And people say, I actually heard people say, you know what, maybe they need to do away with this game altogether. Wow. And it's not all of them. It's not. But it's too many of them. You know, and I heard one of the guys that I'm a big fan of, one of the new blood guys, Anthony Edwards from Minnesota, saying this is just, it's an all-star game. It's not supposed to be competitive. No. I compared this guy to Jordan. I have to now retract that statement. Michael Jordan would never have said anything like what Anthony Edwards said this weekend. And you can't hide behind the whole we could get hurt. Really? 30 years ago, they didn't give a shit about that. They played hard. Nobody got fucking hurt. If you guys are in the shape you're supposed to be in, and you've already taken off, you already have load management. These guys didn't do that either, and nobody got hurt. And the game was more physical then, and nobody got hurt. Knock it off, Anthony Edwards. Take your head out of your ass. You're another one. And I can't believe I put you in the same sentence as Michael Jordan. That was that's awful. Oh, up until this weekend, when I heard you make that ridiculous claim, all you did was insult Michael Jordan. That's all you did. Okay? And it's too bad because there's a lot of talent there. If these guys would go at each other, you might actually have an entertaining thing, and that would incentivize people to come see you play even more because, like, these guys actually go after it. They play hard. That's what people follow. That's what people respect. Not you guys going out there and freaking whatever the hell that was last night. Okay, that was a joke. That was an absolute joke. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. Every damn one of you that participated in that game ought to be ashamed of yourselves. Okay? Because up until that game, it wasn't a bad weekend. It was going pretty well. It was going pretty well. Jaylen Brown threw his hat in the ring in the dunk contest. Steph Curry did that awesome thing with Sabrina Ionescu. That was a great thing for women's basketball. There was a lot of good things happening this weekend. You guys fucked it all up in 48 minutes. And Larry Bird, of all people, who all he does is compliment you guys at every turn, and he complimented LeBron this weekend, saying, stop whining about him, appreciate him, and enjoy it because he's not going to be here much longer. And all he asks is that you guys go out and compete. This is what you fucking do? In the state of Indiana, the basketball state? Wow, talk about asleep at the wheel. Talk about no understanding of your history, or the history of the game, for that matter. Fucking disgusting. Every one of you, fucking F's across the board. Donkeys, 24 fucking donkeys last night. Every damn one of you, Tatum and Brown included. Fucking donkeys. And they sit there, I don't know what we can do. What should we do? What should we do? You know what this is? You know what this is, and they won't admit it, okay? This is all about that 65-game rule. That's exactly what this is. Well, if you're not going to let us take off, we're going to take off. You know what we're going to do? All-Star game, we're going to not just fucking play. We'll go out there. We'll put the jersey on. We'll run around, have a few dunks, throw a few lobs, jack up a bunch of uncontested threes. Like anyone gives a shit. I don't remember how many actual applause moments there were in that game in the quarter after I saw, but I don't remember more than one. And it was right in the beginning. And then they all realized quickly, oh, Christ, they're not going to play at all. So I don't know what happened after I turned it off, but I'm pretty certain there was no standing O. And I did see the postgame when Adam Silver, it was all I could do not to crush you guys. Well, you scored the most points. Congratulations. Translation, you fucking donkeys. You just don't get it. You just don't get it. A bunch of entitled, spoiled little brats who don't respect their talent, don't respect their fan base, don't respect the guys that can, don't respect nothing but their brand. No wonder why people keep tuning you out. What a fucking joke. What a fucking joke. You disgust me, every damn one of you. We're going to come back. So we're going to end this right now because I'm going to say something I'm going to regret in a few minutes. But I don't regret anything I did say in the previous 14 minutes. But you NBA players, take a look in the goddamn mirror. Because all you did was embarrass yourselves last night. On a world stage. You embarrassed yourselves. And you're going to stand there and say, well, I might get hurt. You got to be kidding me. They changed the rules so you couldn't get hurt. You have load management now. You have you can miss 17 games so you don't get hurt. They have an in-season tournament where they pay the winning team $500,000 each player. On top of your inflated salaries that half of you don't deserve. And by the way, your forefathers that you just disrespected, they're the reasons you're making all that goddamn money. What a fucking joke. Every damn one of you. Fucking go bury your head in the sand. Fucking joke. We'll come back, segment 2. Speaking of jokes, there's 2 college coaches whose fucking throats I'm going to jump down tonight. You may have heard of them. We'll also go over the top 25, the new top 25. There's a game going on right now. Number 6, Iowa State at number 2, Houston. That's a Donnie in the Brook. We'll go over that because they still care at that level. And we'll be back on the other side. See you in just a few minutes. Fucking pathetic. Ugh.